Hey guys, it's Zach here, and I'm going to go through some quick start things with the BOKEH, some little anomalies of how it is a little bit different than the other ZMF headphones. And so let's go ahead and get started. You may have just gotten the headphone. The first thing you're going to want to do is just put the headphone on and see how it fits. You know, for me, I know I'm usually 2 or 3 detents up from the bottom. And so first thing with your adjustment here is that you're gonna wanna always on ZMF headphones pinch right around the rod, as close to the rod as you can on the upright. This part is called the upright. And so as you pinch, you just go up and down and adjust it to whatever works for you. As I said, with me, 2 up from the bottom typically works well, 2 or 3. Go ahead and put the headphone on, give it a feel, and you should have pretty even pressure all the way around. One thing that we always suggest that you can do with any of our headphones, you can swivel these pads around the baffle to kind of best suit what's gonna fit behind your ear. And so on the bottom of the pad here, you can kind of use this line here as a guideline. See that seam? And then it gets thicker as it goes around. And with these Caldera pads, the thickest part is actually in this lower quadrant here, and you can kind of position that thickest part around the back of your ear so you're always getting that best fit. So for me, I kind of twist this forward so that the seam right here is actually a little bit in front of that jack, so that when I'm putting the headphone on, I have a little bit more, it's a little lower on me. So it's kind of a choice you'll have to make exactly where you want that to go. Then when you put them on, you'll want to feel that nice little pressure down there. If you don't, then the next step we're going to want to do is make a little adjustment by bending the headband. The one thing that is super important with these when you're bending the headband is not to grip by the rod. And so because the BOKEH has a 180-degree swivel, there's a tiny little steel bar. You can see on this rod, there's a little detent right there, yeah. So see that little indent? There's a little steel rod, which is what keeps the BOKEH from swiveling all the way around. Kind of check the headband shape and see, hey, do I want to make any adjustments here? Whoop, peekaboo. So, first adjustment I usually make if I'm not getting a certain side, the way you want to grip it is kind of behind, you know, and it can be easier if you give yourself a little room to play with here. Adjust these rods out a little bit, and I'm just going to go ahead and you're pushing by the upright here, so your palm is going to be behind the upright, and I'm just kind of giving it some torque right there. And I'm going towards the front, so you're kind of pressing the part of the headband where the thick part of the pad is, because you're trying to give yourself a little more with that pad. And so that is what is going to help you get that good fit. And then conversely, if you have too much pressure back there, you're going to do the reverse palm and then going back and then pressing kind of towards, you're kind of pressing towards the front here. So you're pressing with the rod facing away from you instead. Same thing. And those are the 2 motions that I would recommend, you know, when you're bending the headband. That's the 2 things you're going to want to do. You can kind of do the same thing as other ZMFs where you kind of cut, you know, the place where you want more bend in the headband. So you kind of put your one hand on the side wherever you want more angle on the headband and bend it that way. But remember, you got to stay away from that rod. You know, just be careful. They will be pre-bent. We're going to bend them so that, you know, you should be able to get a good fit off the bat.
Well, keep your life. Keep your life.
Oh, tell me why.
Keep your life.
Oh, tell me why. See what you want to do.
Keep your light,
Trim and burning.
keep your light,
Trim and burning.
keep your light.
Trim and burning.
Oh, see what my God has done, brother down,
Careful.
Elder Dawn,
Careful.
Mother
The other adjustments to check over time with this is the hex key size. So a 1.5 millimeter hex key and a 2.5 millimeter hex key. And these do not come supplied with a headphone. You can get them very easily at any hardware store, or they'll be in a metric hex key kit. And if this part of the headphone is ever feeling, loose or anything, the 1.5 millimeter hex key goes in here to adjust tension on this. It will be locked in, and you probably won't need to do that much, so it'll go in there and you can make adjustments that way if you want to adjust the tension on this. But remember, you want this to feel, have little clicks in it, because there is a ball end plunger in there. So any adjustments in this guy will go like that. Make sure it's tight. And that will give you that smooth adjustment there if anything ever needs to be done. And then your other parts are your gimbal bolts, both for the rotational set screw slot and the regular set screw slot. These will take Loctite, any type of Loctite. Just make sure not to get it on the cup if they get loose. And you can just make sure that this part is finger tight on both ends. And the rotational set screw slot is a 2 millimeter, this one's 2.5, and this one's 1.5. So that'll take care of all the adjustments and checks you'll want to do on your headphone to make sure it's in tip-top shape and whatnot. Okay, and then the next thing is if you want to check out the BOKEH tuning system, that is in a different video, but we will go through earpad, taking the earpads on and off the headphone. They are tension fit around the baffle, and so you can see every BOKEH pad will have that ring, and that ring goes around the baffle right there. And then to put the earpads back on, I've always kind of likened it to taking on and off like a ski sock. So the easiest thing to do is turn this guy inside out, and then every pad you'll see has a seam, and that seam will face down towards the jack right here. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you can rotate that after it's on the headphone. But the best thing to do is put this seam right there, put it down facing the jack, put this onto the headphone, and then work your way around the baffle while holding this in place. Use your nails if you need to. And it's kind of easier if you hold this closer to your body. The closer your hands are to your body, the more control you have, so to speak. And then I always go in a clockwise fashion, although you can go counterclockwise. There's no right or wrong there. And then once you have this on, you'll just rotate to your needs based on where you want that thicker part of the pad. Also, do check out the quick start guide that came with your headphones. You'll see here on the back, there's a tuning system that you'll see there. And then on the front page, there's some really good stuff on maintenance and what will come with the BOKEH and how to make, any fine adjustments. And so, yeah, leave any questions or comments you have below. I'll do my best to answer them. And like any ZMFs, these are fairly modular, easy to replace many of the parts. And I hope you enjoy it and have a long committed relationship with your BOKEH. And I'll check you guys later.
Keep your lamp,
Trim and burning,
keep your lamp,
trim and burning,
keep your lamp.
trim and burning.
Oh, see what my God has done, sister down,
Get hurry,
brother down,
get hurry,
sister down.
get hurry.
Oh, what is almost done? Keep your lamp, keep your lamp, keep your lamp. Oh, see what my God has done. till the dawn.
Can't hurry,
Till the dawn.
can't hurry,
Till the dawn.
can't hurry.
The work is almost done. See what my God